On today's episode, jump rope world champion Tori Boggs.
This is the world's toughest podcast. Welcome to the world's toughest podcast, where we talk about any obstacle course race you'd like, as long as that's world's toughest mudder. Each week we talk to members of the WTM community and share stories of success and failure in the single greatest event in OCR. My name is Will Hicks, and this is the world's toughest podcast.
Welcome back to World's Toughest Podcast. My name is Will Hicks. Thank you for listening. You're listening to the number one rated obstacle course racing podcast in the world. The whole world. Thank you. You can leave a review on Apple Podcasts to keep us up there. I just said before the cool music, we are talking with a jump rope world champion today. That's a true story. Very excited about it. I'll talk about it in a minute. Before we start, the newest and best way to get plugged into the show, shoot me a text at 619-485-2726. 619-485-2726. Straight to my phone. That's a true story. Ask me something no one else would know, and I will reply. A question no computer could answer. Ask me who the third place woman at Toughest Mudder Whistler in 2017 was. I will shoot you a text back when I have a new episode coming out. I'll answer your question. But I'll also shoot you a new text when I have a new episode coming out, or when something cool happens in OCR in the community. I texted a traditional Halloween greeting to my text group last week and had a couple of good private conversations with people. Talked about holiday plans, got some costume pictures, just fun stuff. So if you want to connect, or if you just want to text when something is going on in the world of Tough Mudder and OCR, shoot me a message. 619-485-2726. Let's talk some news. The first ever, and hopefully only ever, virtual World's Toughest Mudder is coming up this weekend. Are you ready? Yeah, me neither. That's okay. The difference this year is you can't just show up at the start line not ready. You need gear. You need equipment. We just talked all things virtual World's Toughest Mudder with Carlo Piscatello in our last episode. You should find that on your podcast app if you haven't heard it yet. And we're going to talk with Tough Mudder CEO Kyle McLaughlin this week about virtual World's Toughest Mudder. Be sure to check your emails from Team HQ for the packing list info and other race information. And stay tuned for another episode this week with Tough Mudder CEO Kyle McLaughlin. I am also, when I talk with Kyle, I am going to see if I can get some World's Toughest 2021 info out of him. Again, if you want that info as soon as possible, I will text it to you. Shoot me a text, 619-485-2726. Making its debut in 2020, Tough Mudder presents Tough Turkey, a new Tough Mudder holiday tradition that is free to participate in, and it helps to raise money for charities across the country. You have three options, three Tough Turkey options. One is the Gobbler Family Challenge, or the Tough Turkey 5K, or the Toughest Turkey Extreme 10K. The family version of Tough Turkey is laps of 1 kilometer. You can choose how many laps you want to do. Laps of 1 kilometer with exercises to do after each lap. You can do 1 lap, 2 laps, up to 10 laps. You can do 3 laps. You could do 4 laps. You could do 5 laps. You could do 6 laps. Any amount from 1 to 10. You can do 7 laps. 8 laps. You can do 9 laps. You can do 10 laps. I already said 10 laps. That last part wasn't necessary. The 5K option is a 5K run with 5 obstacle challenges or exercises at the end. The 10K has 3 challenges halfway through and 7 more at the finish line. To sign up for Tough Turkey, including information on Tough Mudder's charity partners, go to toughmudder.com. There's also a Tough Mudder or Tough Turkey headband you can buy when you sign up. It's optional, but come on, right? OCR Stars has kicked off week 1 of their 4-week workout competition. OCR Stars is led by Hunter McIntyre, and he's got some good athletes doing it. He has some good sponsors behind it, and there's a prize pool of up to $250,000 worth checking out. To sign up for it, go to ocrstars.com. I usually lead with this, but be sure to follow us on social media. Search for World's Toughest Podcast and the OCR Report on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. You can also find our other podcasts, OCR Talk, OCR Running Adventures, OCR Coven, and Overcome and Run. Tough Mudder Challenges are into their 4th month. And this is the virtual exercise challenge Tough Mudder has, kind of in lieu of races. It's a fun way to stay involved with the community. And actually, it's got a lot of new people involved. People who've never run a Tough Mudder before are participating in the Tough Mudder Challenges. In November, the Tough Mudder Challenges is Mission C2 Space, sponsored by Navy Federal Credit Union. To earn your coin, headband, and t-shirt, go to toughmudder.com. Tough Mudder's got some big partners, big sponsors working with them on those Tough Mudder Challenges. They had Marvel. They had the Eco Challenge. Off topic, but Amazon Prime has decided not to renew Eco Challenge for season 2. So we're hoping somebody, Netflix, will pick it up for season 2. So to sign up for Tough Mudder Challenges, go to toughmudder.com. And I mentioned it a minute ago, but I want to say it again. Shoot me a text, 619-485-2726. Save it in your phone right now, 619-485-2726. If you want to be notified when a new episode drops or when we have big news in the community or in OCR, text me and join the Cool Kids Club. If you have questions about Tough Mudder or World's Toughest Mudder, you can text those direct to me, straight to my phone, and I will answer them for you the best I can. Just to remind you, though, this podcast is not an official production of TMHQ. Other than being friendly with Tough Mudder Inc., Spartan Race, we have no official relationship. If you have questions about your season pass code not working or why your t-shirt doesn't fit, you'll need to email support@toughmudder.com. The reason your shirt doesn't fit is probably because you packed on those COVID-19. So text me, 619-485-2726. You will know our upcoming guests before anyone else. Check this out. I will text you, hey, this week on the show, Tori Boggs, jump rope champion, or whoever the guest is that week. I'll text it to everybody, but don't worry, there's no reply all possibilities here. That's not going to happen. You can text me back and say, jump rope on a World's Toughest Podcast, and I can answer you personally. Yes, you are going to love it. Or you can text me, hey, Will, where's the new episode? Why are you holding out on us? And I can text you back that emoji with the guy with the shrugging shoulders or something similar. Anyway, or say hi, 619-485-2726. Let's read some iTunes reviews.
5 stars. 5 stars.
5 stars.
5 stars.
5 stars.
5 stars.
5 stars.
5 stars.
Our first review is from the United States. From the U.S., Kenny West writes, 5 stars. Love this podcast. Thank you for all that you do. It sure has been great hearing your voice again lately. Great podcast. Always eager and excited to listen. Hope to see you at some races next year. Take care, friend. Kenny West. Thank you, Kenny, for the kind words. I appreciate it. Very kind. Kenny is one of the guys I've been texting with. Just, hey, what's up? Saying hey. And talking back and forth, talking about race plans. So very excited to hear from Kenny West. And I appreciate the review, Kenny. Well done. Today on our show, Tori Boggs. Tori is someone that I have followed on Instagram for a while at Snorri B. Snorri with an I. Snorri B. You should check that out. I've said it before on the show, and I'm not alone in this. I know. I love excellence. I love it when someone is so good at their job or so good at what they do that you just want to stop and watch and just in awe. And it doesn't matter if it's Ryan Atkins running 110 miles at World's Toughest Mudder, or if it's a busboy at a restaurant that crushes his job. When I first started selling, I had a job a commission-based job, 100% commission, and so I needed to make money at night. And so I worked as a waiter at a TGI Fridays in South Haven, Mississippi. And there was this busboy that worked at this Fridays. I don't remember the guy's name, but man, this kid, when he was bussing a table, I'm not exaggerating, customers would stop eating and watch him bus a table. Like, it was just, he was fast, he was efficient. When someone is excellent at their job, people will stop what they're doing to watch you do it. And Tori Boggs is like that. She's excellent at what she does, and that is jumping rope. I have been terrible at jumping rope since I was a kid. And when I first joined a CrossFit gym and I saw everyone jumping rope, some people brought their own like custom workout jump ropes. My stomach sank. I thought about just sneaking out, like just ditching the class right then. I've gotten better at it, but I was happy to bring Tori onto the show to talk jump rope fitness and beginner tips and techniques and ideas on how to add jump rope to your fitness regimen as you train for World's Toughest Mudder next year. Very excited to welcome Tori Boggs to the show. Let's go to the phones. Tori Boggs is a 30-time grand world jump rope champion. She holds multiple world records in the sport of jump rope and has been featured on CNN, ESPN, Showtime, The Ellen Show, and America's Got Talent. She lives in Germany, where she's a professional performer with companies like Cirque du Soleil. She has been called the LeBron James of jump rope. Tori Boggs, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you for having me. Yay.
Tori, how long have you been jump roping?
Oh, I've been jumping rope since I was 5 years old. So that's over 20 years now. And no regrets.
I saw somewhere where you saw a performer or team of performers when you were 5, and you kind of caught the bug then.
Yeah, I just fell in love with it. I knew I had to at least try to learn. I was really, really bad when I first started. I was super uncoordinated 5-year-old. But I went, luckily had a team in the area where I grew up in West Virginia. And I was going to practices, working really hard. My mom saw how much I loved to jump rope at practice and at home and all day long. So she learned how to coach the sport and also be a judge. So her and I have shared the sport growing up as well, which is really cool.
How much do you jump rope now on an average day?
It depends on the time of year and what's going on. I actually took the day off today, which was nice. But anywhere from, 1 to 3 hours, I'd say, in a day, depends on what I'm working on. Now that I'm doing a lot of videos and stuff online, there's a different type of time commitment that's put towards that outside of practicing. And there's not competition going on because of COVID. So the whole game has changed as far as like training for competitions and stuff. But I definitely have to stay up to date on anything for performance and making sure that I'm peak condition and ready to go at any time to be able to put my best on stage, You
mentioned peak condition. Why should people add jump rope to their daily workout?
Yeah, jump rope is one of the most healthy sports that you can healthy activities that you can possibly do for your body. Not only is it really good for strengthening your bones, but it's also really good for your heart and for conditioning and just overall general health. And there's a statistic out there that 10 minutes of jump rope is equal to 30 minutes of running. And, I don't know how true that is. I hear it's at, the normal pace is the best way to describe that. But that's a pretty cool stat to know, and how convenient jump rope is that you can do it really anywhere. You only need a pretty small space. Hopefully you're not, on the second or third floor of your apartment building. But it's also really inexpensive to do. A rope is super cheap. So very accessible sport.
I want to ask you about the awards you've won and your Instagram videos, but
yeah,
I want to drill down on some basics first. A lot of my listeners are part of gyms that use jump roping as part of their workout of the day pretty regularly.
Yeah.
And some people dread jump roping. They just haven't built that skill set. What is one tip you would give someone who isn't a big jump roper, but they know they need to be able to do it?
Yeah, I would say with anything, you don't just go right into a double under or even a single under for that matter. With anything that you do, you have to break it down to the basics. And I think that's where a lot of people struggle, is especially in CrossFit or something like this, where you have to go right into double unders, sometimes even triple unders. There are so many steps to a jump rope movement that come before being able to do those movements successfully. So being able to really break down a single jump and just understand the timing that goes with your arms, with your feet, is going to be really imperative to be able to not be so frustrated when it comes to doing those doubles or needing that part of your workout to be much more fluid. So definitely breaking it down to the basics.
What is the basic? Like, what's the first thing? Like, if someone walks in there like, I'm terrible, I haven't jump roped since I was a kid. Like, what's the first thing you tell them?
Right. There's so many steps here. So for sure, having the proper equipment and the right size is really important to start. So a lot of people, especially in CrossFit, are starting with like wire ropes or these really light ball bearing ropes. And we would never suggest this if you're coming into a jump rope gym for the first time. We would always start you on a bit of a heavier rope, let's say like one with beads, like plastic beads, or even just a plastic cord rope, because this weight is really nice for different senses. So you have the visual of seeing the thicker rope, you have the auditory feedback of hearing the rope hit the ground, and you also have the tangible feedback of holding that weight in your hand and being able to really understand how to move your arms and how to time that with your legs. And this is really how we start to break down jump rope from starting point. And then as far as sizing goes, a good way to do that is to step on your rope with both of your feet and pull upwards on the handles. And that the handle should fall between the bottom of your rib cage and kind of your breast, chest area. If it's going all the way up to your underarms, it's really, really quite long. And what you want to do is maybe start with it kind of a bit longer and then slowly cut that rope down as you improve your technique. And technique, of course, would be having your hands closer to your hips, which is done by pulling your elbows back a bit. And then always making sure that you're striking the floor with the balls of your feet and never with your midfoot or heel. This is also really important. There's a lot of other small, things like neutral head position or, keeping your upper body relaxed and definitely tracking forward with your knees. So you don't want to be coming inward or outward and kind of smaller things like that. But the arm positioning, the hand positioning is quite important, as well as making sure that you're touching the floor on the balls of your feet. This is really important physically. Yeah.
Those were a couple things. I've been a terrible jump roper since I was a kid. And two things that really helped me were what you just mentioned, making sure you have the right size rope and keeping my arms close to my body. Is there a brand of jump rope you recommend?
So I am not really on the game of recommending specific brands, but I will say to do your research. There's so many different ropes out there. Go for something that's easily adjustable. So a lot of companies will ask you for your height or something like this, and then they'll send you a rope for that size. And that doesn't really make sense because everyone's positioning is different. Everyone's technique is different. So you really kind of discover what rope works best for you as an individual. So have something that's easily adjustable. Even now, I adjust the sizes of my ropes. I'm constantly changing that for different things that I want to do. Also, I would say, if you're just starting out and you want to practice and be successful with jump rope, get that heavier rope, that beaded or that plastic rope that you can use outside, because, a wire rope is for really smooth, specific flooring. And If you're using it in any other location, it's really going to get torn up on the ground. Plus, it's really hard to use as a beginner. And then you also want to look at the handles and how the rope exits the handle. So a really good rope to start with is one where the rope is exiting the handle at a 180 or technically 0 degree angle. A lot of ropes, especially with ball bearings, will exit the handle at 90 degrees. And this is really specific for just doing competitive type events, whether that's CrossFit or competitive jump rope. The rope is only going one direction and it's going quickly. But if you're just starting out, you're trying to get used to how the rope moves and maybe even wanting to play around with doing skills, that rope coming straight out of the handle is really the best one to go with.
Once someone has those basics where they can do it, what is a good routine or a regimen for working out?
There's a lot that you can actually know basic foot moves like straddles and scissors where you're jumping your feet apart and together, jumping side to side, like that typical kind of footwork, plyometric work. And everything you can really think of that you're doing with your feet, you can figure out a way to do with your rope. It's just about your timing. And if you're really struggling, just put the rope down and pretend you have a rope and just really break it down as much as possible. Pick the rope back up, try again. Another thing that people forget about is it's not all about your feet. It's also about your arms. So if you're really struggling with the rope, you don't have to jump it. Put your handles in one hand and just practice swinging the rope. Even look at a mirror, make sure that your rope is going straight, because if it's hitting your head, hitting your feet, going not totally parallel to your body, that's pretty problematic. So you can really break down your technique by just 2 handles in one hand, swing the rope forward, look at a mirror. Okay, let's try the other side. This type of really basic breakdowns that can make a huge difference when you open the rope and start jumping it.
Once someone is pretty proficient, one of the first tricks they like to add is the double under. This is also like CrossFit we talked about. How can people add the double under to their jumping skill set?
Yeah. So, I really love that CrossFit has made jump rope even more popular and really, I think, has helped it become more of a respected activity than maybe it was in the past. Playground sport is what we always got growing up, or playground activity, not even sport would people put that in there. But I really love this part, but it's really crazy to us as like jump ropers, like from a young age growing up in a jump rope program, that people just go right to these double unders. And there's just like a million skills, not a million, but so many skills that we would learn before we ever would teach someone a double under. And this is really interesting progression-wise, because a double under is quite far into the level list of progression as far as all these different moves that you can do before.
Really?
So I would say really, really break it down. And first of all, you have to have like full control of that single jump, that single bounce, is being able to do exactly what you want at different paces. This is super helpful before moving on to a double under. Also being able to do some side swing movements, foot movements, being able to control the rope and that type of thing. All that comes before really we would ever push a double under.
Okay, so what is a basic jump rope trick? Maybe they could Google this to find it. It looks cool, but is relatively simple to learn. Like if I want to impress the guys who can lift more than me.
Yeah, I would say maybe X motion. So you'd start by straddling with your feet out. So it's about shoulder width apart, maybe a little wider. And then the next jump, you would cross your legs. And then the next jump, straddle again, and then cross again. And when you can get this at a really nice speed and maybe even to music, it looks pretty cool. And you can start kind of throwing in other leg movements where you're altering your feet and so on. I really like X motion a lot.
Okay, you mentioned videos and adding music to it. I first saw you on Instagram with your Maniac video. You know the one? Yeah. You're jumping / dancing. You're on a rooftop maybe.
Yeah.
The red wall. Solid energy. The first day someone showed that to me, I probably saw it 3 or 4 times in my feed, just like over and over. Everyone's like, look at this. Like, we need this energy for 2020 kind of thing. That was in May of this year. And you had less than 20,000 followers at the time on Instagram. Do you know how many you have right now?
I think I'm in the 170s.
You have 174,000 followers in like 5 months. You're an ambassador for the sport. How do you work with that responsibility? Oh, geez.
Yes, it is a big responsibility. Before Instagram even kind of became a thing this year for me. It's been a privilege to be able to travel around the world and teach other people about jump rope. Even, people are seeing it for the first time. And that's always how I approach every show, every time I step on the stage, every time I pick up a rope for people or even put out a video. There's people that will see this that have literally never seen jump rope for the first time. So I feel like I have kind of a duty or responsibility to give my best energy, to give the best thing that I possibly can towards to show how incredibly positive our sport is and how really, really good of an activity that jump rope is. So yeah, definitely a big responsibility. And I do my best to hopefully portray jump rope in the best light possible because, it's my love.
Tell me if this is fair. Jump rope is similar to obstacle course racing in that it doesn't get the mainstream respect it probably deserves. Like some people see obstacle course racing and they think, oh, that's cute. They're playing in the mud, but they have no idea like the level of fitness or athleticism at the top of the sport. What are your thoughts on the sport aspect of jump rope?
Yeah, definitely an accurate statement. I like to think that over this past year, jump rope is now getting more attention and kind of coming from that extreme sport aspect where people didn't know that you could do the things that you do with the jump rope, that's not even possible, which is really cool that we can now start getting it out there. So for that, I would say this year, as unfortunate as it has been for everyone in the situations, that part has been good that people have discovered. Hopefully people have discovered this activity that they can do at home, that they can do anytime, that's really accessible and kind of a new fitness movement that people haven't really played with before. So I think, yeah, it's definitely been underestimated, but I like to see the popularity expanding now.
Another similarity between jump rope and obstacle course racing is the strong community behind the sport. Yeah. What is the jump rope community like?
Yeah, the jump rope community is really, really great, super supportive. And I've been fortunate to be a part of that world since I was 5 years old and first picked up a jump rope is understanding, you can travel the world and if there's a jump roper there that you automatically have a friend in a new city. Even if you can't speak the same language, jump rope is that universal language for us. And that's always really been such a cool thing about the sport is I've competed at the world tournament with a teammate from Japan, like really, really, where else does this happen? It's in jump rope that you can do that. So, for that way, it's definitely really, really connective of the world. And now on Instagram, there weren't a lot of competitive jumpers that were posting on Instagram. There still aren't. There's a couple of us. But there's such a big world of just these kind of self-taught learners that has now been expanding on Instagram, which is really, really great to see. Maybe that's been their kind of quarantine activity, maybe not. But just all these people posting about how they're growing and learning in the sport has been really inspiring.
I watched your Ellen video this morning, and you said something that caught my attention talking to Ellen. You said you were studying medicine. I think you're in your second year of school when this recorded.
Yeah.
But your dream was to be a jump rope performer. And now, a few years later, you're living your dream.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about your goal-setting process, or how did you make that happen?
Oh, wow. Okay. So tracing back to this video. Yeah. So I studied industrial design and pre-medicine at Ohio State. And my plan was to go to medical school after. But while I was at the university there, I started the jump rope team at Ohio State. And we began doing these performances all over campus for different events. And kind of that was when I started experimenting with performance jump rope and just the doors that it was starting to open. And I really, really loved it, but I couldn't do more performances than, the weekend activities, of course, because of school. So as I went along, I just kind of kept expanding the team, expanding the performance. And right after I graduated, and my brother was actually coming to Ohio State too, to go to medical school with me. That was our plan. But I got an offer from Soleil, which was really inspiring because I had been hoping to do something with them for a long time, and was like, well, I'm not going to go to medical school right now because I really need to take this opportunity. So I got an offer for them, and then I started kind of performing more, and kind of just all went from there as far as I did a national tour in the U.S. with Cirque Dreams, another company. Got hired for a European show. Have been kind of back and forth in different shows and venues, and really, having fun jumping rope.
I want to talk a little more about your Instagram account. It is at Snorib, SNORIB. What is a Snorib?
Yeah, okay, that's a great question. So it's actually pronounced Snorri B, and snoring plus Tori equals Snorri, and then B for Boggs. It's actually a joke from when I was a little girl. I had this pillow. My parents made me a pillow that said Snorri on it. And I did this interview that was in like a documentary that all the jump ropers saw. And I'm speaking in front of this pillow that says Snorri, and didn't really think anything about it. It was just kind of a joke in my family. And then, of course, after everyone in the community saw that movie, that became like one of my nicknames was Snorri. And then I think I made it like my AIM screen chat name when I was little, and just kind of like first got into Instagram, and I was like, okay, what name? I guess Snorri. But now, I can't change it now. It's like too nostalgic, and that's my name.
It's really funny. And people don't let you, if you get a nickname that sticks, it kind of sticks. So especially in a community.
Yeah. Yeah. And I had another nickname, Torminator, because I really love Arnold Schwarzenegger and did some shows with him and stuff. And I was like, dang, why didn't I think to make that my Instagram name? Like, what was I doing when I was younger? Snorri B for the win, I guess. But yeah, really silly, and I love it.
Tori, you also work with a company called Tally Jump. What is Tally Jump?
Yeah, so Tally Jump is a device. It's a sensor that goes underneath your shoelaces on your right foot, and then an app on your phone. So it pairs over Bluetooth. And the point is that it can count your jumps, and it does this in real time. So it connects to your phone. You can put in a target time, or like your 30 seconds, 3 minutes, whatever, and then kind of even a target score that you want to hit. And then it counts you as you're jumping, so you can set up your phone and kind of look at it. And it lights up, red if you're behind your target pace, or green and blue if you're on or ahead of it. And then after, it shows your scores. So it stores all of your sessions and kind of gives you a graph of like how you did, if you had mistakes or where you slowed down, etc. And so this was kind of a device I had invented with some help from friends in France as a way to be able to train alone. Because a lot of times I was at college and didn't have my coaches with me anymore. I was away, and this became really hard to train, and no really counting device exists that allows you to use your own rope because our sensor just goes directly on your shoe. So that's been a really cool project, especially for competitive jumpers. But now we're starting to get more people from kind of just the general fitness community using Tally Jump, and this has been really, really cool as well.
What other sponsors do you have, or anything you'd like to plug?
Well, I'm a My Protein athlete, so I definitely do a lot with them, which has been really cool because before they approached me, I was using My Protein products. So I use their way, and now I, of course, really love them as well. Also, Frey is a skincare company that has also approached me and started using their products, and I absolutely loved it. So I was like, you know what? Yeah, sure. I'll go with it because I use this every day now.
How do you spell that?
So yeah, FRE, Frey Skincare. And yeah, in general, I love to work with companies that are just trying to help me continue jumping rope. And a lot of times that's how, with My Protein, with Frey, they were like, hey, we really love what you do. We want you to first try our product, see if you also like it. In those cases, I use both, but also they're like, we just want to help support you and continue, like, you keep doing what you do, what you love to do, and we want to be here to support you. So I really enjoy being able to work with companies that do support jump rope and support the positivity that I hope I'm putting out to as many people as possible.
How can people find you on social media?
Yeah, just go on Instagram and type in Snorri B. That's one of the best ways. I have a website too, toriboggs.com. So if you ever want to reach out, you can kind of go through there also.
Tori, any last thoughts on jumping or jump fitness?
Yeah, for sure. Just never underestimate the rope. People don't really understand the sport until they pick up a rope and try it. So try it. Pick up a rope, give jump rope a try. if you're ever frustrated, really just think about how to break it down. I do have some beginning advice on my Instagram. If you go to my Reels section, it's now I think once a week I'm trying to post a tutorial, but I have a whole group of them kind of a bit down there that talks about how to size your rope, how to break down jumping technique, what types of ropes to use, and then which types of handles, and then really just basic tricks from there. So if you do need help or any advice from jumping rope, head to my page and there's lots of content there for that.
Jump rope world champion Tori Boggs. Thanks much.
Yeah, thank you.
Special thanks to Tori Boggs for appearing on today's episode. Well done, Tori. Come back anytime. Tori has the world champion golden ticket to the show. What did you think of today's episode? Let me know. I'm not sure if jump rope is off topic for us or not. I mean, we did a whole episode about whatever happened to pizza at McDonald's. So what do you think? Let me know. 619-485-2726. Leave us a review at lovethepodcast.com/tough, and I will talk with you soon. Go spend time with someone you love.